Hey everybody, I'm Josh and welcome to this special edition of Shit Talking, bonus episode number 12, hashtag stay at home edition, episode number 11, hashtag stay at home season finale. On today's show, I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that, and we're going to take a look at some state laws. So after I post this episode, there is going to be 2 more bonus footage that I'm going to post up. The first one being this. So in the last episode, I teased that you needed to pay attention to every detail of every episode. And there's a reason for that. I'm having a contest, and the contest rules and how the contest is explained, or how the contest is going to be done, is in another video that I've already filmed, which I have to say that because it leads into my next story, but that episode will be posted right after this one is. So I tell you that because of the next video I'm going to post. I wrote this episode, finished this episode, this monologue, this morning probably about 11:30. And so I'm writing everything else. The monologue was the first thing I did. I came home about 7 o'clock. I got started and was sitting at my desk where I'm filming. An hour and a half later, I finally get that video done because it took me that many takes. So that video is done. So then I start filming this episode, and my thing is I'm just going to press record and I just go and see how far I can go without making a mistake, too idiotic, I guess. Anyway, and I kept messing up at the beginning. Like, I'm only not even to my cheesy monologue yet, and I'm still talking. But anyway, so it's taking me forever. So I finally get to a point where I'm doing the monologue, and I had read a joke out loud, and in my mind I thought, hey, I'm reading them like it's the first time I'm hearing them. And so the very next line I read is, I'm not going to tell you the joke right now, but the very next line I read is, the other day I was riding a donkey, and like at the moment I read it, I just thought, why in the hell would I be riding a donkey randomly? I don't know why I thought that, and I just lost it. Anyway, I had to stop filming. I was laughing so hard. I tried to keep going. It just wasn't going to happen. I stopped filming it and continued to laugh for another 5-10 minutes. So that will be the third video posted tonight. Here's to hoping. Anyway, here we go. So my nephews, while we were celebrating my Mother's Day, got me hooked on TikTok. So the top one is my TikTok account. The bottom one is my Twitter. I'm trying to remember to use Twitter more often, but I'm really addicted to watching videos on TikTok. So anyway, until then, though, it's time for yet another cheesy monologue. And may I remind you, so I stopped filming that episode, and I started filming another episode to take place of it. I get through the entire jokes, and I didn't press record. So yeah. Anyway, here we go. I'm proud to announce that I recently burned 2,000 calories. It's the last time I take a nap while I'm making brownies. They always say take life with a grain of salt, but I'm an overachiever. I take life with a grain of salt, a lemon, and a shot of tequila. My shrink says that I'm preoccupied with revenge. Well, we'll see about that. Build a man a fire, he will be warm for a day. Set a man on fire, he'll be warm the rest of his life. The problem isn't that obesity runs in your family, it's that no one in your family runs. I wonder if people were told that using their brain that their brain is an app, if they'd start using it. Last night, a friend of mine said I never listened to her, or something like that. Here it is. I was riding a donkey the other day when someone threw a rock at me, knocking me off. I guess you could say I was stoned off my ass. Here's today's point to ponder. Fighting for peace is like screwing to get your virginity back. A blind man walked into a bar, a chair, and a table. And finally, my nephew put my mother on his speed dial. He said it was his Instagram. There we go. I made it through. So the theme with this episode is that I tried to go with the law. And I was looking for those police blotters, actually, and I came across stupid state laws. Here we go. I thought I would rank the ones I saw from 1 to 10. So it's time for another ridiculous segment of the 10. I try to make my intros use different... I need to buy a thesaurus. I try to use different words every time. Sorry. Normally I have them and it just wasn't there right then. Here we go. In Alaska, number 10. In Alaska, it is illegal to be drunk in a bar. Per state law, a person who is already drunk may not knowingly enter a bar to drink more or remain in the bar that they got drunk from. Confusing and cruel? Yes. Outdated? Sadly, no. They actually enforce it. I could see it kind of being a safety precaution, but when do you know that you're drunk, you know? Excuse me. Number 9. In the town of Goodyear, Arizona, it is unlawful, speaking of what I just did, it is unlawful to spit in or on any public building, park, sidewalk, or road. Offenders may be charged a fine of $2,500 and 6 months in jail. And in case you need a reminder, it's also just lousy etiquette. Here's number 8. It is illegal in California, to build, maintain, or use a nuclear weapon within the Chico, California city limits. A law that began in the 80s as a serious anti-nuke statement has taken on a second life as an internet joke, mainly due to the purported consequences. In addition to self-annihilation, the infraction also carries a $500 fine. Who's going to be allowed to pay that? Exactly. Number 7. Stupid people. This one I found a while back, and it's just ridiculous. Like, why would you even... Why? A pickle cannot be sold in Connecticut unless it bounces. According to a 1948 article, this law became a necessity after 2 scheming pickle packers tried to sell, quote, unfit for human consumption pickles, end quote. On the sly, the Connecticut's Food and Drug Commissioner at the time proclaimed that a real pickle should bounce when dropped from a height of 1 foot, leading to a new state regulation. Things that make you say, You all know you're going to go get a pickle and try it. Don't lie. We know that kids can be annoying, but please remember that in Florida, it is a felony to sell your children. You have been warned. Don't sell them. Rent them. Don't do that. That was a bad joke. I should have said that one. Censor me on that one. Here we go. Number 5. For chicken chompers in Gainesville, Georgia, finger licking is not a suggestion, it's mandatory. Thanks to a 1961 law added to the city code as a publicity stunt, it is illegal to eat fried chicken in the poultry capital of the world with anything other than your fingers. A tourist was arrested for such a chicken forking violation in 2009. Respect the chicken eating process in Georgia. It's like you don't eat Chicago-style pizza here in Illinois with a fork. How dare you? Number 4, listen here, slitty slickers. Here in Illinois, and Galesburg, Illinois to be exact, city law strictly prohibits, quote, fancy riding, end quote, of any bicycle on streets, particularly riding with both hands removed from the handlebars, both feet removed from pedals, or any acrobatic shenanigans on your fancy velocipede. According to the Galesburg police officer, quote, I suspect that the trick riding ordinance came during a time or concern about bicycle safety and perhaps crashes involving bicycles. It is seldom enforced. But just so you know. Number 3, in Indiana, the municipality of French Lick Springs. All black cats must wear bells around their necks on Friday the 13th. This rule was introduced on October 13th, 1939, quote, as a war measure to alleviate mental strain on the populace, end quote, and has been technically been in effect ever since. Well, congratulations. What about ladders? Can you not use them on that day either? Or cracks? Can you not walk on a sidewalk? Number 2, in Iowa, I can't believe it's not a misdemeanor. Any person who attempts to pass off margarine, oleo, or oleomargarine as real butter is guilty of a simple misdemeanor in the state of Iowa, punishable by 30 days in jail and a $625 fine. So don't be selling your butter illegally. And the number 1 stupidest law I found on the internet today. In Louisiana, it is illegal to steal someone else's crawfish. Like, really illegal. Meriting its own state law, crawfish theft is in excess of $1,500, can land the offender with up to 10 years in prison or a $3,000 fine. But mostly they will have to endure the humiliation of being called shellfish for the rest of their lives. There's a bonus joke drum for you. So this next segment, I couldn't not do this segment on my final episode of the season. It's time for my new favorite segment. Here come the po-po. Take a drink real quick. Alright. At 8:29 p.m., police received a call from the Du Bois woman who smelled something funny in her room last night. She believed it may have been her husband. 5 p.m., police were called to Market Square for a suspicious coin. After further investigation, it turned out to be a quarter. In Medina, police went to North State Street address just after midnight, November 20th, after getting a disturbance call. Officers found an engaged couple there arguing over what time Kmart closed. The officer told them their hours, and the couple calmed down. What? I'm assuming they didn't call the police. Let me say that again. I think that they weren't the ones that called the police. Bryan Middle School reported a theft of an American flag on the morning of October 1st. It was described as 4.5 feet by 3 feet flag that was red, white, and blue. And I'm not making that joke up. That is actually in that newspaper. That's why I showed it to you. In the 100 block of University Drive, employees at Eckerd's reported about 12:25 a.m. that 2 men came in the store, loaded birthday gift bags with yellow smiley faces on them, 52 tubes of vaginal antifungal cream, and left without paying $894.98 in product. I figured out the math. That's 17 bottles-ish per bottle, or $17-ish per bottle. Oy vey. A 21-year-old woman, a 21-year-old woman in the 1600 block of Voigt Drive reported Saturday that her gold rope chain with diamond pendant was missing from her home. She stated that she thought it was her ex-roommate took it, and it was also her that took her husband, as he too is missing. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't read that one. This next one, I know it's not a police report, but I was going through them this morning looking for them. I just go to Google and I go to images and I type in police blotters and they pop up. This popped up and I could not contain myself. So here is the next thing I'm going to show you, I guess. That is a real mugshot. And yes, she is sticking out her tongue. Isn't that hilarious? Or he. Alright, next up. A man called officers to notify them that the pot his friend sold him was, quote, laced with something, and that he felt crazy ever since smoking it and would like to see a doctor. Maybe I shouldn't be smoking weed. Disorderly person, 1100 block of West Grand Avenue. Someone reported a duck in the parking lot, drinking beer and yelling at people. That's quackers. And finally, this one's really good. A 21-year-old man reported a battery on East Green Street Friday night. According to the police report, an unknown subject threw a condom at the victim, hitting him in the face. No arrests have been made at the time of the report. Why would you announce that? Move on, my brother. Move on, my brother. So, as I said at the beginning of this episode, this is the stay-at-home finale. So, I'm going to get out my soapbox, turn off the jokes, and give you my take. If you ask me, this year, 2020, has sucked. First off, a dear family friend of mine died in a plane crash. 8 days later, all sports were canceled for the season. 2 days after that, the schools were closed. 2 days after that, restaurants and bars closed. And then at the end of that week, all were given orders to stay home. I started the show to challenge myself in order to begin pushing my limits. As I said in the past, my dream job is to announce play-by-play for a hockey team, and I know that sitting at home playing my Wii game, commentating on that, is not going to get me that job. And I know that in doing this show, my dream job may never happen. But it could lead to other things that possibly could lead to that dream. Or maybe help me discover I actually have another dream, like making these shows. When I started this, I was very critical about the perfection with the show. And I wanted everything to be perfect, like I had a huge team here, and clearly you know that I don't. I needed to quit acting like it. I realized that even Ellen DeGeneres, Seth Meyers, Jimmy Fallon, they all make mistakes on their show, and it's actually funnier when they do. I'm just not wanting to do funny, jokes or mistakes all the time. As you can tell by watching, I know that there is nobody in the room with me, maybe my dog sometimes. But I felt like I was talking to my friends. I felt like the camera wasn't even there, and it was my friends that I was showing those homework responses to, or the breakup texts to, or the handyman mistakes, or any of those. Everything I did in my shows was because of you guys. When I wrote this particular script this morning, it was shortly after 10 a.m. It was right before I started writing my jokes. And I was looking at my statistics right then. And I never thought that anyone but me and my immediate friends would ever watch the show. And maybe that's all that do now. I don't know. It doesn't tell me who. But as of this morning, and all 10 videos, all 12 videos, including my promo and the first Here's My Take, I had over almost 300 views and 15 followers. I know that that's not big. I get that. But I am really happy with that. To me, that means I've made a success here. And I'm going to keep doing these to make you guys happy. If you guys don't want them, let me know. But before I begin actually putting shows together, I watched a lot of how to do a YouTube video and kind of their take and their advice on when you start a new channel. I watched a number of them, and a lot of them all agreed that when you first start, don't look at your statistics. And saying that, of course, makes you want to look at them. But I made myself agree, because of my self-esteem issues, I made myself understand the fact that it wasn't a reflection on the show immediately. I understand that people may not start watching these for years and years. I don't know, maybe next November someone will stumble across these for some odd reason. I don't know. But that's when I may start being popular. If I ever become popular. I'm not saying that. Please don't think that about me. As I remember being a kid sitting at the breakfast nook in our kitchen, my sisters and I used to put on news shows. We'd pretend like we were reading the newspapers and reading the current stories, and we'd hang up the weather section so we'd have a map to look at, and we'd even get the VHS video camera out. And for those of you who don't know, we used to record on a VHS, not on our phones. It was on our shoulder, or a tripod. A little learning lesson. But I remembered we were having fun. We weren't doing it for perfection. Have fun, that's what it means the most. When I started doing the stay-at-home series, it was a way to keep myself busy, and my real plan was only do one episode a month. And then I saw how the numbers for the promo were the first week or so were in the 20s, and so I put out my first bonus episode, and then that one was big, and so I started putting out, well, what I consider big, and then I started putting out the bonus episodes, and it just kind of all snowballed into what it's become. What I wanted in a show doing these bonus episodes was 10-15 minutes. By the end of recording, I am now at 22 minutes right now. And most of my shows have been in the upward teens to almost 30 minutes, if not 30 minutes. But as the country begins to slowly reopen from the stay-at-home orders, I feel like it's a good time that I shouldn't be doing stay-at-home episodes anymore. So it's a good time to just take a break and start planning next season. And the reason I say that is because, like I said, I expect high standards of myself in doing these shows. And I know that I shouldn't, but I would like them to be more organized. I don't want to have to do a show from the very beginning to my final goodbye in one take, because if I mess up, I spend that much time in that small area. I'm tired of that. I want to take time away from doing shows to learn how to edit them, to learn how to put them together so that I don't have to do it that way. I'll be honest, in my mind, I'm already thinking I'm on a network on Bravo or a channel like that with huge stars. And I know that's never going to happen. But I'm not going to know if I don't try. I'm kind of going off the cuff here. I have a script written, but I'm kind of going off the cuff here, so I have to keep trying to find myself. But anyway, I'm more or less taking a step for just a couple of weeks. Like I've said at the beginning of the show, my season 2 premiere is already going to be June 14th. So I'm just taking some time so I can learn how to edit, put together a better show. Maybe through my TikTok or Twitter, be able to get TikTokers to come on and interview and promote themselves. I don't know. So I'm going to see what all I can put together and what all I can figure out so that I can get you guys a better show. In conclusion, I'm just going to jump here to the end because I'm really tired at this point. In conclusion, I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank you not just for the 15 subscribers. I want to thank all of those that stumble on my shows. Because of that, you watched my shows, or for whatever reason you found my show. I will continue putting up shows until I'm made to take them down or never get any more views. If it wasn't for you guys, the viewers, I personally would have gone stir crazy during these stay-at-home orders. But now I do my show for you guys. I hope that you like them. Next season, I plan on trying more giveaways, more contests. I have some segments I'm already planning, and some new segments that are coming. I'm just trying to work out how to execute them. But before I say goodbye one last time for at least a couple weeks, I want to take a moment, with this being Memorial Day weekend, to thank all the men and women in uniform in the military that risk our lives to protect our country and our freedom, and the ones that, especially the ones that we've lost fighting to protect our freedom and our country. This year, I want to take an extra minute to thank those on the front line, the workers, the doctors and nurses that, while saving someone's life from this disease, contracted the disease and lost their lives. Those people, as well as janitors, CNAs, office staff, the people who stock shelves at grocery stores so you can go out and buy food, make sure to thank them tomorrow, or this weekend, or even after this weekend. They deserve a lot of credit for what they've done during this pandemic. So until then, on behalf of myself, Melissa, and Chandler, I would like to thank you all for watching what I'm considering a huge success. 300 shows is 300 views is 250 more than I ever expected. And the 15 followers, I just ask that everyone follow me. I don't care if you ever watch any of my shows again, just follow me. But please, stay healthy. Thank you for watching, and I hope you're just excited for all the changes coming in the second season of Shit Talkin'.